Hey everybody, welcome to this video. I'm going to go through a transcription I did of Tony Rice playing Little Sadie. This is from a live version. I'll put a link to the YouTube video below. If you've never played Little Sadie before, I definitely recommend learning a more generic version. I've already done a video of that, so I'll put a link also below and I'll put it somewhere in the video. The tabs will be in the video, but if you want a copy of a PDF of the tabs, or you want a copy of the lead sheet, or you just want to support me because you like what I'm doing, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Again, link below. So this is pretty fast. We are going to play it technically in the key of E minor, but I'm going to talk about it in the key of D minor because we're thinking D minor with a capo on the second fret. All right, so let's play through this and then talk about it. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Totally forgot the lyrics somehow, but just to give you an idea of how that hooks up to the melody. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. The form's a little weird. If you're not used to it, maybe check out my other video, but we're again in the key of D minor, but there's a lot of G major sounds in that. So this makes this D Dorian. Technically it's the same as technically it's the same scale as the C major scale, but D is our root, right? And he really kind of pushes that sound. Like in a lot of other versions, you hear a lot of this, which is very D minor sounding. But here he's not doing so much D minor with these B flats. He's getting a lot of these B sounds and playing a lot of G. Right? So it's kind of interesting in that way. So that's part of the reason the sound is coming out. Okay, let's go kind of line by line and just talk about this. So the first line is these first two phrases. We have a pickup into this. That's our first phrase. The interesting thing here is we're just keeping eighth notes going pretty much the whole time. So there's a lot of down, up, down, up. The way I like to think about it is anytime you have anytime you're off the beat, it's an upstroke. Anytime on the beat, you're doing a downstroke. These can often be a little bit tricky if you're not comfortable picking fourths, but we kind of throw that fourths in there. Okay, second little phrase here. Okay, now you'll notice this drove me insane because I always wanted to do this 2 to 0 as a pull-off. But it's not, it's picked. That seemed to be the hardest thing for me. Okay, now here it gets a little different from the melody. In my version, I think I went, but here we have this little run up, A minor pentatonic, right? And then this little last phrase, again, chromatically leading up to this A note. Right? And like I said, my version was something like this. Very much leading, hearing that D minor sound. Here we're really kind of targeting, we're making it more G. So instead of playing this B flat, we jump up to this D note. And then we have this nice C major arpeggio. So you really get the sound of which is cool. Okay, and then the last two bars, you have this cool trick that is very common in jazz tunes, where you take a D minor 7 chord, or it could be just a D minor, but here's a D minor 7. You can also think of it as like an F chord with a D in the bass. And to get a real Dorian sound, what you do is you just move that minor chord up 2 frets. Right? You hear this countlessly in like modal tunes. Right? So you can think about it different ways. You can think about it just as like a D minor or D minor 7 chord that's going up 2 frets, or you can think of it as like an F major chord and then a G major chord, both over the key of D. But it gives a real interesting sound. So that's basically what we're getting. Okay, Now we just kind of pick back up into the second time through this form. And the second time through it's kind of similar in some ways, but we've added a lot more to it. So this is the tougher version. Learn the first little chunk first, and then come into this. So we have, that's our little lead in. Now normally that's the same way we play it the first time, but now we're just kind of adding some extra notes to bring us into the next part. With the pull off. So let me play up to that. So we have this little lead in. All right, and it's nice to hear where those phrases stop, right? You have, all right, then the next phrase starts up. Then we go into this next phrase, which is just an A minor pentatonic. If you've learned these kind of shapes, this should be easy. If you haven't, take a look at these kind of slide up pentatonic shapes. They're really easy on the guitar. One thing that's nice to think about here for this whole 2-bar section is we just use our first and third finger. It kind of helps us. Okay, but I'll do this little pickup with the last 3 notes of this. All right, and then we start again on this A minor bar. All right, I'll play that whole phrase with the pickup again. So it's only that last note that we get with the middle finger. The rest is all index and third. Even when I slide back to this 9, the B note on the A, I'm kind of bringing my third finger up to get that note. Okay, now we have some triads. So this is a really cool technique. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the triads. I'll kind of review them. If you're playing a D here, and you're playing D major arpeggio, you'd have D, F sharp, and A. So you get this little shape. And if you learn something in minor, it's nice to learn it, in major, it's nice to learn it in minor. So the minor would be D, F, and A. So you really only have, well, not really, but those 2 shapes, major and minor. And you can go up a scale and do that sort of thing. But he's doing a really interesting thing where we're having an open string. So we're going to start here on this G, which is right where our finger ended up here. This is the, this is 8th fret. And our pinky's going to go down here at 10, and we're going to play this G major triad. And then get the open E string here. And I would just recommend getting that kind of rhythm there. All right, and then what he does is he moves up from this G to this A minor, and then back down to the G. So that's a cool thing to practice. And you can do this anytime that this open E is going to sound like a good pedal. Playing the arpeggios of the key that you're playing is generally, you're going to come up with some cool licks that way. So experiment around with that. If you like this, try to throw it into other tunes. Try to do it in different keys, that sort of thing. Okay, so we have this phrase. Oops. What am I doing? I forgot it. Okay, so here we actually switch to kind of like a D minor pentatonic. I guess you could think of it as this F arpeggio. Now, I found this part to be relatively tricky here. Where we kind of have that slide down. And then what I'm going to do is take my first finger and get this 3, 0. And now we're here in this D minor pentatonic. Right? Sorry, let me start this again from this phrase. Alright, so I'm going to do just that part. I'll try to put this up on the page, that whole thing. So starting from the G. Alright, I would say the tough part here is this little, that that slide with the middle finger, so then our first finger can get this 3, open, 3, 1. So this kind of change where we're pivoting from this scale, this like 5th position here, to 1st. Oops. So we end up getting the D with our 1st finger, and then again the D with the 3rd finger, and that puts us right in that position here so that we get this. And then we have a little blues lick. And then there's this high D chord here on the 10th fret. And then again a little blues. And then here we have this D minor 7 chord. Okay, so that's a lot. I'm going to play again from this G. It's a very weird phrase because there is that kind of 2-beat bar, right? You're going, everything's in 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have this 2 beats, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, you know, Tony Rice doesn't really nail that beat 1 on the D here like he does in the last one. It's kind of like he just keeps playing over top of it and then ends when it feels like ending. So you've got a couple extra bars at the end of this. Okay, so that'll do. For now, let's just go through this kind of at a slow pace with the tablature. Hope you've enjoyed this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, good luck with this. Yeah, till next time. Bye.